Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Today we're going to talk about an item on Aqidah which says, what can shytan do? Can shytan live inside people? Can shytan live inside people? Probably you need to move. Always have difficulty turning. If you sit on the second chair here. Yeah, thank you. Can't shaitan live inside people, Farah? No. Why not? Anything to live inside you has to be made of matter, like you. Oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, magnesium, iron, whatever. And shaitan is not made of atoms. He's made of smokeless fire. وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِنْ مَارِجٍ مِنْ نَارٍ. Allah created jinn, which shaitan is a jinni, who doesn't believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, or disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. He believes what he disobey. Created of smokeless fire, which sort of, I don't know, wave or something. When the Prophet ﷺ said, الشيطان يمر في الإنسان مرور الدم في العروق. Shaitan goes through you like the blood goes through you from A to B. So he goes through you. He doesn't sit in you. So he brings the idea to you and disappear. Or he waits to see what you're going to do. So shaitan is not made of matter and only stay in you matter. Why X-ray works? If you go and have your X-ray for your bones, what's the X-ray? How it works?
The X-rays go through your body.
Yeah, go through your body and absorbed by your body, depends on what's in your body. Usually blocked by bones, and you could discover if the bones are fractured or not, or dislocated or something. So you see the image. So the X-ray go through you to the film behind, and the film get bent, depends on. So shaitan is not a human, it's not matter, it's not atoms. He wouldn't sit in anyone. If anyone believed that shaitan living inside him, he has some sort of thought disorder. The way his brain acting is wrong. And I've come across mentally ill people who believe shaitan live inside them. And sometimes they talk in a strange way. I'm now the shaitan inside them. This is the, yeah. And, and you go, possessed by shaitan, saying, oh, I'm possessed by shaitan, shaitan inside me. It wasn't me who did this, it was shaitan who. And one said to me that shaitan lives inside you, and he is the one who talk this rubbish. I said, but when I give him olanzapine or chlorpromazine, some medicine for psychotic features go. He stops seeing things and hearing things. He said, oh, because shaitan doesn't like the taste of the tablets. But I thought shaitan doesn't eat and drink like us. Shaitan eats things that, we don't know. So that the person have some sort of thought disorder. So shaitan lives. How you get rid of shaitan? And there were two mullahs in Manchester. They thought if they hit, the lady came, they possessed by shaitan. They said, if we hit you hard enough, the shaitan will go. And they hit her hard enough and she died. And they both went to life imprisonment in Manchester. It's a story, I think it's 20 years old story, but if you search for it, you could read it. You get the names of those two mullahs. So that's worse if you have even a mullah or somebody who claimed to know about shaitan. So the answer is no, shaitan doesn't live in you. He doesn't control you. So the story in the Quran about shaitan, if you put shaitan in the search and ask the copy of the Quran you have on the computer to list the ayahs on shaitan. You get quite a lot of ayahs where shaitan mentioned what he does, what he can or cannot do. But how do you know yourself? How would you know that this is shaitanic ideas? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ لِلشَّيْطَانِ لُمَّةً وَلِلْمَلَكِ لُمَّةً. The angel bring you good ideas. So it wasn't recording. So the shaitan of the prophets became Muslim. How would you know that the bad idea came to your mind is from shaitan?
Because Allah wouldn't put a bad idea in your mind.
It's from not from angels, so it's from the shaitan. How would you know it's from shaitan, not from you?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't know. What our teachers say, if it's an idea to do something bad, comes again and again and again and again, it's yours. Because you like it. You love these things, bad things. So you know it's from you. If the bad ideas switch to another bad idea, to another bad idea, to another bad idea, it's from shaitan. Because shaitan tries with this idea, no, I'm not going to do this. He tries another idea. I'm not going to do this. Then try another idea. Then till one click. When one click, you know, it is from shaitan because you did reject so many bad ideas, but this one you went and did it, so it is from shaitan. This is why in Ramadan, if somebody is still doing bad things, it will be from him. And this is why you see more people in Ramadan fasting, coming to the mosque, behaving well, because they are not getting bad ideas from shaitans, because shaitans are chained. But those who are bad themselves, they will carry on doing bad things. Whether it's Ramadan or Eid or whatever, they will carry on bad things. So shaitan doesn't live in you. He give you bad ideas and run away. Or wait till he laugh at you when you do the bad thing. Oh, get him to hellfire. How things started when Allah created Adam. He asked all the angels to bow to Adam. And all bowed to Adam except shaitan. He refused. Because he's so arrogant and he wouldn't bow to somebody created from mud while he was created from fire. He thought that fire is better than mud. But fire is generated by atoms. But anyway, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَأَزَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْهَا فَأَخْرَجَهُمَا مِمَّا كَانَا فِيهِ. So shaitan tricked Adam and Eve and he managed to get them out of paradise. How he did that? فوسوس لهما الشيطان ليبدي لهما ما وري عنهما من سوآتهما وقال ما نهاكما ربكما عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين. So shaitan noticed that Adam and Eve, they had their private parts. They were obvious, they were not in use, and he discovered if they eat from that tree which made haram for them to eat from, they will develop the act of urinating and defecating and passing water and passing feces and poo and things. So he made that, made them believe that tree is good for them. So he said to them, your Lord did not ban you from eating from that tree, because if you eat from it, you become angels and you will live forever. Or you will live forever. And Adam and Eve forgot. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla did say to them, they will live forever. Go enjoy yourself in Jannah, you will live forever there. So they forgot. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَعَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ آدَمَ مِنْ قَبْلُ فَنَسِيَ وَلَمْ نَجِدْ لَهُ عَزْمًا. We trusted Adam before, told him that you will live here in Jannah forever, and he forgot. And we didn't find him insisting on disobeying Allah Azza wa Jalla. So he was forgiven, while shaitan insisted on disobeying Allah Azza wa Jalla, so he was cursed. So he managed to get them to eat from the tree and forced out of Jannah. So Shaitan, he asked Allah Azza wa Jal, because he was cursed and going to hellfire forever and forever, asked Allah Azza wa Jal to let him stay alive till the day of judgment. Now, people wrongly think that Allah Azza wa Jal accepted his request. It's not. Allah said to him, you are already from فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنظَرِينَ. Go to the list, you'll find that your name is there. You will stay till the day of judgment. You already, decision already taken by Allah Azza wa Jal to keep him alive till the day of judgment, to use him to test human. So, when the Prophet ﷺ met shaitans, jinnis, they came to listen to the Quran. He asked one of them, he said, when were you born? How old are you? He said to him, I was alive when Qabil killed Habil. So he was alive from the time of Adam. Didn't die. Shaitans don't die and the jinn do not die. He's just there, multiply, and it seems they multiply because we multiply, more of us now. How many shaitans were there in the time of Adam? One, Iblis. Yeah? His name is Iblis. But he had children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And then he had a group. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ وَقَبِيلَهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. Shaitan and his followers and his descendants and his children and grandchildren, they see you while you do not see them. Apparently in Jannah it will be the other way around. We see jinn when they don't see us. But then Shaitan has an army also of evil Shaitan like him. يَرَاكُمْ وَجُنُودَهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. So he will see you and his army. So, what sort of things you could be doing and it is Shaitan created? We know if he brings different ideas, bad ideas to you, it's Shaitan. How do you know it's actually bad ideas? Before we talk about how do you know that it is a bad ideas? An idea come to your mind, how would you know it's bad or good?
You should think about it like if you did it in front of your parents or if you said it, would you still do it?
His parents could be as bad as him. I've seen bad parents and bad children. So they encourage them to steal sometime and make a mess and things. But how would you, as a Muslim, know it is bad idea? It's shaitanic idea. Because Allah guaranteed that you will have exposure to what is bad and what's good from the messages He sent to His messengers. From the Quran for us and Sunnah, we know. We know. Even the Christian have the 10 Commandments and the Jew. You should believe in God and you should be good to your neighbors, you should be good to your parents, you should never steal, never kill, never. So they know. Most people have been told what is good, what's bad. In the Quran, Allah said, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. We guided man to the right things and the wrong things. And you choose. And فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ الْيُسْرَى. Whoever chooses to be a giver and mindful of Allah, fearing Allah Azza wa Jal, and accepted the day of judgment, he will be guided to the right way. And whoever وَأَمَّا مَنْ كَذَّبَ وَتَوَلَّى وَأَمَّا مَنْ كَفَرَ وَاسْتَغْنَى وَكَذَّبَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْعُسْرَى. Whoever denied the day of judgment, lied, and turn away from the message of Allah, Allah will only help him to have a hard life. So, saying that, when you go to the Quran, you will find a lot of ayahs, Allah telling us when Shaitan is active now. So Allah Azza wa Jal said, إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه. When you start fearing the enemies of Allah Azza wa Jal, the partners of shaitan, when you start fearing them, shaitan is active. He makes you terrified of, CIA, FBI, MI5, MI6, Mossad, this KGB, whatever. When you start fearing the enemies of Allah Azza wa Jal. While as a Muslim, you don't. Allah will help you, and you are expected to be always prepared, so you're okay. الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء. When it comes to donating, shaitan will become active. Oh, you need the money, your children will need money, your grandchildren need the money, you don't know about these rainy days and things, and you shouldn't spend your money and forget about them, and they should have work, they should have this. So when you become too stingy and refuse to donate, shaitan is active. وَيَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ. When the shaitan is active, when you want to do bad things, indecent actions, shaitan is active, encouraging you, go, it's all right. Somebody invited me, was a doctor with us in the hospital. Oh, let's go to this dancing hall. Nice girls there. And why don't we go to have a meal in a nice restaurant instead? So he's acting on his shaitan's ideas, and I blocked it. I was with a couple of relatives of mine, went to the restaurant to have cold drink, and they bought beer. But I was in a position to kick the beer, broke the glasses and splashed the beer. And how dare you take me with you to the restaurant and you bring beer? So they were led by their shaitan. And how dare you do this when I'm with you? So the shaitan is active. يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ, to do indecent actions. Now, subhanAllah, when the wife of Imran gave birth to Maryam, she made the dua. وإني قالت إني وضعتها أنثى والله أعلم بما وضعت وليد الذكر والأنثى وإني سميتها مريم وإني أعيذها بك وذريتها من الشيطان الرجيم. When she gave birth to Maryam, she said she is a girl, and the girl is not like the boy. And I called her Maryam, but I seek help from you, O Allah, to protect her and her offspring from shaitan. So Maryam and Isa were protected from shaitan all their lives. But unfortunately, Isa didn't have children. Otherwise, there would be all his family tree protected from shaitan, all the Zurriya. But when he will come back, he will marry and he will have children. So you know it's shaitan when somebody donating only to show off, only to get his name on the TV. He's not wishing the reward from Allah. He's not donating because he feels that the poor need help, the needy need help. When he is donating for that purpose, والذين ينفقون أموالهم رئاء الناس ولا يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يكن الشيطان له قرينا فساء قرينا. Now when he's doing this, donating in a hypocritic way, means that he is with his friend, Shaitan. So Shaitan is his friend, his closest friends at that time. Because he's encouraging him to donate only for the sake of fame, for the sake of appearing in the media, appearing on TV. وإذا جاءهم أمر من الخوف أو الأمن أذاعوا به ولو ردوه إلى الرسول وإلى أولي الأمر لعلمه الذين يستنبطونه منهم ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته لاتبعتم الشيطان إلا قليلا. When you, this ayah here in Surah Nisa, when you go and spread news, any news, which could be fake, could be harming news, could be shaitaning, control of you. You are following shaitan. Now, in Islam, Allah Azza wa Jal expects you to refer the matter to people who are expert. Here, talking about the Rasul, the messenger first, and people in charge. At the time of the Prophet, there were rumors that the Prophet ﷺ divorced his wives. So Umar ibn Khattab, he didn't listen to this rumor. He went straight, knocked on the house of the Prophet ﷺ and met the Prophet ﷺ. And he asked him, have you divorced your wives? He said, no. So Umar ibn Khattab said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So everybody outside knew that, yes, the Prophet didn't divorce his wives. So the answer to rumors that you go and check up and find out, is it true or not? With the media now creating a lot of fake news, a lot of confabulated stories. I heard yesterday Imam of Mecca, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Sudais, he went out in public talking about a video AI generated that he was insulting the king and his deputy and the government in Saudi and this and that. And he said he was so annoyed that he couldn't sleep. And he had to go and talk to the media and openly that it wasn't me. That was computer generated. But if you go to the social media now, you will find perhaps thousands of videos generated on Donald Trump and generated on other big shot and big, even Bruce Willis and this famous TV, cinema stars and Hollywood stars. There are a lot of videos generated and lie about them. So all you need to do is just go and check and find out. So one of the things they look into the video, and sometimes the AI generates you with 6 fingers, or they generate you with something really wrong, can't be a real deformity. You don't have that deformity anyway. So you need to go and find out and check. I always, whenever I get a text or email or somebody send, I go and check, is this a news item with the known media? Has Reuters mentioned it, has CNN mentioned it, has BBC mentioned it, Sky News. And there's a lot of fake news on Arabic broadcasts, on Arabic social media. I don't know about Pakistan, but I'm sure if you know Urdu, if you know Persian, if you know Turkish, there are a lot of fake news. Now, they knew how to generate, some evil people know. They could put you as being, robbing a bank or something. It could be damaging news sometimes, and you need really to... they wouldn't target you or me being infamous. We're not famous, really. It's just ordinary. But they target usually rich people or famous people or political people, things. But here the ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal, insisting that you should go and check out. If you don't, you will be following shaitan. Shaitan, اتبعتم الشيطان إلا قليلا. But Allah Azza wa Jal has been merciful with the Muslims because they go and check. They don't go and transmit news. Let the bad news buried in your inbox. Never forward. And the other day I sent to somebody, checked, and the news was so harming. I said to him, go and tell the one who sent it to you why it's wrong. And I quote from the Quran and things. It's haram. Sometimes it's haram to spread news, especially if it is contrary to the Quran and Sunnah. When you are going to market or on spending online, right, your money right, left and center, splashing money here, splashing money there, on items, useless items or items you never use, or you can buy much cheaper items, you will be called mubadhir, overspender. And that's, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Now, if you are overspending, splashing your money right, left and center, Yes, Ryan? I don't mean you, but I want you to pay attention. I saw you distracted by something else. Shaitan is your brother. Shaitan is your partner. كانوا إخوان الشياطين. So, if you come across somebody what do you think about genetic engineering? Genetic engineering. To make genetic changes in the genes of animals to create some sort of, I don't know about cloning, but similar. When they produced featherless chicken in Israel, they produced featherless chicken. They said, why to bother have chicken with feathers? Only have to remove the feathers before we eat the chicken. So let us modify the chicken to not have feathers, so it's easy, just slaughter and eat. Is it genetically? Is it action of shaitan or is it action of mercifulness, Rahman? So Allah Azza wa Jal said, shaitan will say, وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ وَلَأُضِلَّنَّهُمْ وَلَأُمَنِّيَنَّهُمْ وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلِيُبَتِّكْنَ آذَانَ الْأَنْعَامِ. That's in Surah Nisa. وَلَآمُرَنَّهُمْ فَلْيُغَيِّرْنَ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ. So Shaitan will order his followers to change the shape of the animals and also to change the creation, the true nature of animals. Now, one of the harm of having free trade with America, they have a lot of genetically modified food. Luckily, the British government is not going to allow importing genetically modified food because a lot of it is not fully researched and will not be permitted in Britain. But you don't know about genetically modified food, genetically modified animals, what will happen to them. They managed to change some sheep to produce human insulin. Is this good or bad? To have a human insulin. Yeah?
It's bad for the sheep, but good for the humans.
Why bad for the sheep?
Because they need sheep insulin.
I don't know actually whether it's bad for the sheep or not. But I know probably it's good for human. If you have a human, because it's not easy to get a human insulin, but if you get sheep insulin, at least halal, because they were pork insulin. Is it haram or halal? Yeah.
If it's for like medical purposes where you have no other choice, then it's...
Yeah, there's no other choice, life-saving. If you don't give insulin, the person will have hyperglycemia and then will have a lot of complications and death. So, but modified animals to... there's a lot of modifications now going on. Some of it is evil, some of it probably is beneficial. But you need a true, sincere, probably God-fearing committee to decide ethically whether it's right or wrong. Especially like, saying about animals, sometimes animals suffer. There's a lot of modifications on rats and mice and things now.
We say like when modifying animals is dangerous because we don't know the long-term effects for humans as well. So humans and animals, we don't know what scientists have limited knowledge. It's very dangerous as well.
There were a movement to attack labs which use animals for testing, and they did attack some labs and things. But that's obviously an act of terrorism because you are so merciful to the human. Is it your nature to be merciful to all the creatures? They don't mind seeing Gaza people being slaughtered and the people in Ukraine are being killed, but they want to save the rats and mice. So, but they do it the wrong way. They go and attack the lab and attack the workers in the lab and things, which is obviously wrong. A lot of labs went underground in secret now. You don't even know how much some animal suffers and things. So, but that's when you see that act of genetically modifying animals or food or whatever, there's some shaitan action there. Allah Azza wa Jal said shaitan will order them to do it. So whenever you have such a suggestion, you need to find out, is it truly to save lives, and is it truly that there will not be no suffering for animals and things? Because you're not even allowed to suffer, make animals suffer, even when you are slaughtering him for food. When the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah ordered people to be merciful with everything, and when you slaughter your animal, you should make your animal rest, not frightened, sharpen your knife, and not let another animal see you slaughtering another animal. So you should be in hiding. I saw a video in Jordan, the sheep coming for slaughtering, they come through like a corridor, and when they turn left, only one animal there, they electric shock him and slaughter him straight away. So the other animal will not see him because he's still behind the corner, which is good. It's in a way, it's Islamic. إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه. When an idea to come to drink alcohol or gamble, shaitan in action. So you know straight away, shaitan is there. So I said when I pushed this beer and broke that, because shaitan in action, I'll pay for the glass, but I wouldn't sit with people drinking. Obviously, I mean, we're related to me. We didn't have a fight or anything. We just moved out of that restaurant. But shaitan in action. The Prophet ﷺ was sitting, Abu Bakr was sitting, and the Sahaba, and the guy came insulting Abu Bakr. And he insulted Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr radiallahu was quiet. And then became too much, start people talking about you, and then start insulting you, and then start insulting your sister and your mother and your father. You get angry. And Abu Bakr became angry and start answering him back. So the Prophet ﷺ left. So Abu Bakr was very worried, and he followed the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I'm terrified, why you left? He said, when he was insulting you, the angels were answering him back. But when you started talking, answering him, shaitan came. And I don't stay in an area where there's shaitan there. So the Prophet left. So shaitan has appeared. When there's a fight, make sure it is shaitan there, encouraging you to fight him and encouraging him to fight back. So it's shaitan in action. So here, when you get the idea to drink alcohol or gamble, shaitan in action. وإذا رأيت الذين يخوضون في آياتنا فأعرض عنهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره وإما ينسينك الشيطان فلا تقعد بعد الذكرى مع القوم الظالمين. When you see people started insulting the Quran, insulting the Hadith, insulting the Prophet ﷺ, shaitan in action there. Leave. Don't sit with them unless they change the subject. Can we change the subject, please? I'm not feeling at ease, If you can't defend back and you are good at it, start. But if you can't defend back and there's too many of them and sometimes they are half drunk or sarcastic, you just move. I went to be a judge, not a judge, I was a medical officer to make sure that there were a snooker game, and they wanted me to make sure that both are healthy and fit and remain healthy and fit till the end of the game. So I thought while I was watching, I will talk to some people about Islam and talk. So I started, and it was in a pub, and some of them half drunk, and they started becoming disinhibited and talk rubbish. So I thought, I'm not going to fight them and argue with them. They're not in the right mind. So I left them. And I said, I'm in that room, if you need me, just call me. If anything goes wrong with these players, just call me, I will come back. So sometimes it's best not to answer back, because answering back sometimes, especially if people drunk or half drunk. A few years ago, Marwan, my son, was, they were EDL people coming, and National Front coming to Solihull to demonstrate against Muslims. So what my son said, why we don't go with a bar of chocolate and a rose and give each one of them? We're not harmful to you, we're not against you, a bar of chocolate and a rose. I said, check with the police and see what they advise. So he phoned somebody in the police he knew, and he was part of a committee there. And he said to him, oh, that's a good idea, it's really good and things. So on the day, I think at 7 o'clock or something, 8 o'clock, I had a phone call from the head of the police. He said, I heard your son wants to go to town with some other Muslims and give this EDL and National Front a rose and chocolate bar. I said, yes, that's true. He said, my detective saying they're already in the pub drinking. By the time they come out of the pub to demonstrate, they will be either drunk or half drunk. And what you're going to do is not going to be accepted by them that it's a nice, peaceful gesture. It's going to be like, shaitan in control of them. They are drunk. But the ayah, we're now drinking, إنما رجس من عمل الشيطان. So can you convince your son not to come out? So I said, Fuad Marwan said, cancel it, because it will get the opposite effect. Why? Because shaitan, will be a lot of shaitans there. 200,000 shaitan or something. So he cancelled it, he didn't go. Brother Athar went and he spoke there, but he didn't give them any chocolate or rose. But he spoke, and so be careful when people start insulting the Quran or Hadith or the Prophet. Leave, unless you are really able enough and in higher position, or probably you are the boss, or you are the leader, or you are the police or something. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, shall I tell you على من تتنزل الشياطين تتنزل على كل أفاك أثيم. Shall I tell you who the shaitan will be coming down to help? They will come down to help every liar creating fake news and evil ideas. So when somebody is doing these, creating lies and confabulating, he gets help from shaitan. They descend on him straight away. This one is creating trouble. Let's help him. Help him out and join him. So they will come على كل أفاك أثيم. The day of judgment, when everything settles, shaitan will speak. Allah will allow him to speak. وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم. So shaitan, at the end of the judgment day, he will be allowed to speak, and he said that I promised you, but I broke my promise, and that he was lying. And mind you, I never had any control over you. I only invited you and you accepted. You accepted the invite. So don't blame him, blame yourself. فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم. Don't blame shaitan. ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي. I can neither help you today, nor you will be able to help me. They're both going to hellfire. So, there's more obviously ayah in the Quran on this. And if you want to know when shaitan will be your partner, when shaitan will come down to help you, you will discover from the Quran. So I'm out of here. I'm not joining you. I'm not going with you. Excuse me, I have this. My grandson was asking me, he said, if these boys, want me to do these evil things in the school, can you kick this can? See how far you get. He said, I'm really busy. I want to go and see so. So he left them, and they kicked the can, and the can landed on one of the teachers. And the CCTV showed all those who were kicking the can, and they were all punished for their action. So I taught him of something called breakaway skills, how you break away from a fight or a situation, risky situation, or be pressurized by your peer group and other students. And breaking away sometime is the courage. You will be brave if you manage to break away sometime from horrible situation or bad situation. But here in the Quran, Allah you will learn from the Quran that this is shaitan is there. As I said, the Prophet ﷺ, when Abu Bakr answered back, shaitan came, there's a fight now. Shaitan will be happy to come. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.